Okay, good morning, everybody. We're going to be starting the webinar in about 1 minute. We have some people registering right now, so we're just going to give them a few moments, but in 1 minute, we're going to be starting, so look forward to talking with you then. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to N4V's webinar entitled Unlimited Geo Mapping in SAP BusinessObject with N4V for WebI Extension. I'm Michael Trickey. I'm N4V's U.S. Enterprise Account Executive, and joining me today is my colleague and N4V's Senior Consultant, Dallas Marks. Dallas, feel free to say hello.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you and to share about geomapping today.
Excellent. And as normal, as custom, we normally start off our webinar with some fun questions, and we're not going to deviate from that today. For all those on the webinar, you're going to see a pop-up polling come up, and that is where do you come from? What city are you from? We think it's kind of a fun solution to do. Let's everybody in the audience know exactly where the business object community is. So city, state, would you be fine, or just city? That'd be great, whether you're from LA, Phoenix, New York, Miami, or somewhere outside the US. And as we're looking here, trying to take a look at the results. Hey, Dallas, can you share the results with the people? Mine kind of went away. Okay, well, we appreciate that for you doing that. And for our next question, you should see another pop-up come up. And that is, what version of SAP Business Objects are you using? Are you using 4.2 or 4.3, and what service pack? Normally, as we've been doing more and more of these type of webinars, we're seeing more and more people being able to migrate to 4.3, with some utilizing 4.2 or older. And we're seeing right now that's a little bit of the case. A lot of people utilizing 4.3, which is great. Everybody's trying to get the best, most up-to-date version of business objects. So feel free to utilize the poll question. It should come up as a form of a pop-up. And if you have a pop-up blocker off, now would be a good time to turn that off. And actually, we are at 100% people utilizing 4.3 for those who have responded. So that's good to hear. Now, our last question is, have you ever heard of N4V before? Simple question, yes or no. You should see a pop-up come in, and now we're assuming that we're going to see some that do, because we do have some clients of ours in the audience. And if you haven't heard from N4V before, specifically our plug-in solution to Web Intelligence N4V for WebI, this is an amazing opportunity for us to show how it's the solution for you. And we're just going to give you a few more moments to answer that question. And here we are. So we're almost split down the line. So great opportunity for us today to do so. So with that, we are just going to be able to go run through our agenda today. I'm going to be giving you a quick overview of N4V and N4V for WebI solution. My goal, of course, is just to show you how it's a solution that can be very simple, make N4V for, make web intelligence more simple and more productive and powerful for your web intelligence needs. And then we're going to follow up with a use case with demo with Dallas, who's going to be going through some demos, use cases of mapping. And then we're going to follow up with a Q&A session. And that reminds me, if you have any questions throughout this webinar, feel free to utilize the chat function. And with that, I'm going to go into our presentation on N4V. Now, as you can see here, this is our website. Great source of information. Please feel free to look at it if you have any questions. By all means, you'll be getting our contact information afterwards. Reach out to us. Now, with N4V, we're here to help you boost your SAP WebI intelligence reports. Now, with N4V for WebI, it's a solution which allows you to distribute, visualize maps, and analyze them and distribute its data through a 4-in-1 solution. Now, that 4-in-1 solution allows you to enhance your data visualization with interactive graphics, navigation inside your business object environment that are really innovative and dynamic, and provides an easily accessible library of more than 60 plus graphical components. And two, we enhance your Geo Mapping capabilities today, highlighting our today's subjects. It really allows you to bring in online and offline maps to completely represent the data set that you're looking to integrate into surface or bubble diagrams of points of interest that you'd like to display. Thirdly, we will add data analysis capabilities, in particular with pivot tables, also known as our data analyzer components. This is a very powerful and resourceful component for our clients that use this. And in addition, it comes with a scrollable filter table for those who want to off-put their data into some form of Excel format from business objects. Lastly, this is one of our flagship capabilities with our solution. This is the automation of dynamic HTML and PNG exports of your reports outside the WebI environment without the need of additional concurrent licenses. We are the only ones that actually can do this type of solution in the marketplace. And when you combine business objects and N4V for WebI, you get a complete data visualization solution. Now, I want to be able to scroll down a little bit and show you how fast and easy our integration is. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of cherry pick a little bit on this section and show you how simple and easy it is to integrate our solution when you have absolutely no code, no need to write code on your side, and you benefit from the graphics that interest you quickly. And as mentioned, we're a simple plug-and-play solution. We are a solution that will allow you to right-click and transform your data into any one of the 60-plus widgets, which is very simple and easy to bring to life with dynamic and interactivity in the graphics of all of our components, which, by the way, are HTML5. That means that when you export them and put them into your internet extranet on your website, they're compliant with governmental mandates in terms of the visually impaired. Also, with professional services, we provide advice and expertise on our solution. And since this is an add-on solution, this is important to note, you don't need to carry on any type of change in management within your organization with installing or operating N4V for WebI. And since you're keeping your existing platform and enhancing it with our solution, it's just going to save you a lot of time and resources. I'd also like to mention that our support is very popular with our clients who are on this webinar, as we're really responsive and provide relevant answers to their needs. And those who have chosen us have done so for 4 main reasons. Now, The first is that we're extremely fast. Our clients are able to install N4V for WebI quickly by either choosing cloud or on-site installation. And in a few minutes, within the installation, you're able to start playing with the components that you want. And we're much more economical than other solutions. You don't have to invest a lot of time and money in migrating to a completely new system that will only set your department back in regards of times, money being spent, and not only that, resources that you have that you need for other projects. Thirdly, is we bring a lot to power to business objects since we make your data speak louder thanks to our graphics, our mapping capability, our analysis capability, and all that we put into your BI environment. Fourthly, is we're sustainable. As we're installed on your existing server, we help lower your carbon footprint. So, we help you become more digitally compliant. But kind of a fifth bonus reason is that we provide 4 releases per year to make sure that our clients have the most up-to-date data visualization solution available. Now, if we want to go up here to our resources tab, I'd like to show you our video library. This contains all our latest webinars and also access to our YouTube channel, which contains those webinars as well as helpful snippet clips to help you answer some specific questions. But more importantly, this library helps you with helpful topics like turning WebI into a dashboard, how to enhance your SAP 4.3 upgrades through the use of N4V for WebI. But lastly, fun webinars that we do, joint webinars that we do. For example, we did one with Gregory Petruccio on self-service BI. Those who might recognize his name, Gregory is the SAP product director for Business Objects. And not only can you find all these webinars on this library page, but also you'll be able to find this webinar as well in a few hours this afternoon. Now, if we can take a look at our Solutions tab, this provides a catalog of all our different components. And the great thing about this is that it's put into categories so you can view them. And if we click on the circular one, you're going to see here we're going to provide many different types of circular pies. And these different charts right here of these pies are actually they were built within the business object format utilizing N4V for WebI and exported into HTML format. So what you're looking at are HTML exports of these reports. They have just as much utility inside of WebI as they do outside of WebI. They have the ability to drill down, be able to explore, and navigate. And the next one I'd like to show is the bar one. This is a very popular category for our customers. As you can see, these are just HTML exports of reports that we were able to make with N4V for WebI. You're able to drill down, be able to have the same utility as I mentioned before. Just shows the different type of graphics that are just so much more advanced than just using WebI alone. And we provide different types of bar charts. As you can see, the H pyramid is a very popular HR type of graph. And lastly, I'd like to show you our components. Navigational component. This is a very resourceful one because it provides a lot of utility for those who want to have navigation while still being on the same report. And as you can see here, we do it through a simple drop-down menu, also the radio button, calendar picker as well. We provide many different resources per category to make sure you have what you want when you're trying to create your reports. Now, lastly, what I want to show you is our Try It Live button. Now, this is a very useful type of a demo site that we have on our website because it allows you to play with our components within the business object environment. We're allowing you access into our demo account. So if you want to choose 4.2 or 4.3, you can see how our widgets operate within that environment. And the great thing about N4V for WebI is that we work with all versions of Business Object from 4.2, 4.3, and coming soon, hopefully BI 2025. And with that, I'd like to be able to switch gears a little bit and talk to you about the use cases that Dallas is going to be bringing to the table. So the first use case is going to be an SAPI report designer looking to create a map that allows him to find specific shipping containers on a map. The second is a marketing manager on where he can find electric vehicle dealers. Third is a human resource manager that's looking to determine, which employees need to go remote based upon their distance from their headquarters. Fourth is an insurance risk manager. He's just looking how to evaluate flood risk based upon his policies that he has. Fifth is just kind of a friendly little Olympic enthusiastic map, basically, where he's going to be sharing the medal count with a Canadian friend. And lastly is the scientist at Forest Services. All he's looking to do is identify specific species on a specific area. And with that, I'd like to pass the reins over to Dallas, where he's going to amaze you with these maps that he's created. Dallas, please take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, Michael. So the first thing I'd like to show you is simply how easy N4Viz is to use. And so obviously we're talking about geo mapping today, but the process for using our components is the same regardless of what kind of component it is. And here I have some shipping data that I want to analyze. I have shipping containers that are located at various ports around the world. And I actually had this data in Excel and was able to import it into Web Intelligence as an Excel document. So if I go look at the raw data, you can see that this particular data set is enriched with latitude and longitude. So some of our mapping components use latitude and longitude. Some of them allow for geo encoding, which means you can take a street address, for example, and simply pass it up to your mapping provider like Google. And so they'll take care of plotting the map for you. But in this case, we're using latitude and longitude. And I also have some other information about the city where the shipping container is, and also what type of shipping container, what size is it. Okay, so to use N4Viz, it's just as easy as selecting a component from SAP's own library. So I'm going to select the table, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to the Turn Into menu. Now the Turn Into menu on the Properties panel, you can see that there's a lot of different categories for the built-in tables and charts that WebI has. And the very last button is for custom elements. And so that's where you're going to find all of the N4Viz components. They're organized here by category. So up at the top, you can see N4V GeoMaps. And we have a wide variety of geomaps that address different use cases. For this one, I'm going to use the OpenStreetMap chart pie. So in addition to visualizing the data on a map, it's also going to have pie charts where the data points are located. And those pie charts can also have a pin representing a different metric. So I'm going to simply, after I've transformed into the chart, now it's just a matter of going to the Properties tab. So again, just as if I was using a pie chart from Web Intelligence from SAP, I right click, I turn into, and then I go to the Properties tab to adjust the map's properties. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to spend some time here. I want to adjust the color palette that we're using. And you can see that I've got a lovely pie chart showing me the breakdown in 20-foot versus 40-foot shipping containers. And I also have a KPI metric as the button in the center. And basically, I can color code what the number of shipping containers that I have at different ports. And so you can see that I have a lot of ports in need of additional shipping containers. They're all yellow. Thankfully, I don't see any red dots. But that's really just it. It's bring in your data, right-click, turn into, set some properties, and voila, you're done. You've created a map that provides a lot of detail beyond just the location analytics. There's a lot of interactivity built into the tooltips, as well in this case into the pie charts. Okay, so that is just shows you how easy our product is to work with. And so the next use case I'd like to show you, I'm going to put on my hat as a marketing manager for an electric vehicle manufacturer. And so we are entering the US market with a really awesome SUV that is electric powered. And we'd like to do some analysis to decide where we should put our first dealership. And so we've got some competitor data for our first target states, Oregon, North Carolina, and Florida. But I want to go to North Carolina. And so I'm going to use the map component on the left and select North Carolina. And that's going to provide navigation to the map on the right. And so I've now drilled in from the United States, specifically into North Carolina. And I'm going to blow up a full screen view. And so you can see that there are three main markets that have electric vehicle sales. And so if you're not familiar with North Carolina, the large area at the top, that's the Raleigh-Durham area. The one in the middle of the state, kind of down at the bottom, that's where Charlotte is. But look over at the right at Buncombe County. And this is where Asheville, North Carolina is. Asheville has beautiful mountains. It also has the Biltmore Estate, lots of tourism, and we think that that is going to be a great market to build our first dealership in North Carolina. It's certainly not the biggest, that would be Raleigh-Durham, but because Asheville's built in the mountains and we really feel like there's going to be a lot of synergy between people who love to live in Asheville and drive an SUV, that's going to be really great. And so I can see the competitor data. I can even export the competitor data to Excel if I'd like to share the information with the rest of the office. But I think selecting Asheville as our first location is going to be a great decision. So now that I've decided on where geographically to put my first dealership, now I need to just think more practically, like where physically do I want it to be? So I'm going to switch maps here. And this map is going to show the topography of the United States. And I'm going to go in and look at Asheville and some of the other cities that are in Buncombe County. And so that's going to allow me to zoom in, and I can see that there are 3 or 4 different pockets of places where people currently own SUVs, so that's good for us. But you can tell just by the size of the pie chart alone that we really want to focus on the north side of Asheville as a really good location for our first dealership. So rather than just looking at static tables and making a decision, by having location analytics available, we were not only able to determine the state and the county where we were wanting to open a dealership, but we were even able to consider things like topography and the competitive market and make a decision even physically where it's going to make sense to build our first dealership. So if you are an EV enthusiast, we do hope that you'll stop by N4V Motors and check out our new vehicle. Okay, the next example that I want to show you is for HR. So hopefully we have some HR managers on the call today. If not, we probably have people that support HR managers, and so they really have a challenging job. And so we have this human resources dashboard that in a really consolidated space provides a lot of the information that they need to absorb quickly to do their job. And so there's a variety of need for Viz components here. I can see my workforce broken down by department and job title. I can see where my employees are physically located, and I can drill down from state to city. I can also see my hiring trends over time. And so this is our time series component, and it provides a lot of interactivity, gives several different ways that users can choose which date range that they want to focus on. I can also see the gender and the racial breakdown of my employees. So a lot of great information here. But what this won't help me solve is we really have a turnover problem in in the Pittsburgh area, and so we've noticed a big change in people offering their resignations. And so I want to bring up a map that shows me where all my employees are located. As you can see, most of our employees are located in the Cleveland area, Cleveland, Ohio, where our headquarters is. But we do have a few different locations in Pittsburgh, and just want to gain some insight into why people might be specifically leaving from Pittsburgh. So right now, we require our Pittsburgh employees to return to the office. And so they're driving from Pittsburgh to Cleveland. And so using this map, I can see what that looks like. And you can see here it takes just over 2 hours if traffic is good for people from Pittsburgh to make that commute. What if they use public transportation? So gets even worse. So if they choose to take public transportation, it's going to take them 3 hours each way to commute into the office each day. And so this could very likely be a barrier to having the great employees that we have in Pittsburgh be part of our organization. And so using this information, we're going to choose to give our Pittsburgh employees the option of working from home. And we think that that'll be a great decision. Those who want to drive 2 hours can. Those who do not, they can work from their home offices in Pittsburgh. And I think we're going to have a lot more happy employees that stick around with the organization. Okay. The next example I'd like to show you is in the area of insurance and risk management. So as an underwriter, I need to see what risks there are in underwriting a property. I also need to see, well, what is our exposure in case there's going to be an event like a flood or a hurricane. So I want to be able to anticipate what we might run into. And so you can see here, I have a map that shows me all of the customers that we have insured. And if I did not have a map, it would certainly be interesting. It would tell me the number of customers I have, and the color of the building tells me how far away they are from a water source. In this case, we have a river that's nearby. So that's kind of interesting, but it's really going to be more interesting and more useful for decision making if I can visually see the relationship between the buildings that I'm insuring and some of the risks that are in the natural environment. Okay, so you can see the river on the map. You can also see the how approximate these different buildings are. So right now, I need to decide whether we're going to insure building 54. And so you can see that's one of the larger buildings down at the bottom of your screen. And it's red, and it's near the river. And so it could be in jeopardy if this area is prone to flooding. But now I have all the information that I need to decide, do I want to underwrite this property? What do I want to build into the policy? I also have enough information to say that no, we really don't want to insure this particular building. We feel that it's in a bad location. Let one of our competitors insure the building and bear the risk. So, once again, location analytics provides just that extra bit of information, and seeing where things are physically located on a map can really enhance our ability to make a great decision. All right, the next example is a fun example. So the recent 2024 Summer Olympic Games was in Paris, where our Need for Viz headquarters is located. And so this is medal statistics from the Olympics. And in this dashboard, you can see we've deployed a number of Need for Viz components. You can also see that we've used the color of the Olympic logo. And so we've been able to theme the dashboard and use a really pleasing palette that that shows the different features. I'm going to focus in on the Americas. So I'm from the United States, and my new Need for Viz coworker, Warren Koppelveld, he's based out of British Columbia, Canada. So just kind of a little water cooler rivalry. We want to see how these two countries did in the Olympics. And so I can take this map full screen, and I can just see at a glance how these two countries did from a total medal count standpoint, but I can also click and get an additional level of information. And so you can see the medal breakdown by sport for Canada, and you can also see the medal count breakdown for the United States. And so no real surprise here that Canada is more known for its ability to medal in winter sports like curling and hockey than it is summer sports, but there still are quite a few medals, and we can compare different sports and see how it's done. Now, we've also published this dashboard to an external website, and that's because this is data that's of interest to a lot of sports enthusiasts. And so I can export this data as HTML, and I have a fully interactive dashboard. I can still choose continents to filter on. I can also filter on a specific sport. So maybe my interest is in aquatics, and so I can see who the different medal earners and who the different countries were. This is also a responsive design, and so what that means is I might have visitors at my website that are using their desktop browser. I might have others on their tablet. And Warren might be viewing this information on his iPhone, for example. And you can see here, depending on the size of the device, the HTML is responsive. And so it's going to ensure that you've got a really great experience regardless of the type of device that you're using. Okay, the next example that I'd like to show you is for the National Forest Service. And I'm going to wear the hat of a scientist, and I'm very interested in how trees are being replanted in various areas of our park system. And so you can see here on the left, I have a map that shows me different parcels, and I can also drill down into different plots, and I can see how many plots that we manage within those parcels. If you look over on the right-hand side of the dashboard, I can also see what our philosophy is for managing those particular plots and parcels. And I can also see the types of trees that we've planted there. And that's really important to me because historically we have clear-cut forest land, to use for paper and wood products. And we've had a lot of trouble when we put just back a monoculture, single species of trees. And we've learned through time that it's really best to have a diverse set of species growing in a forest. And so this is also a dashboard that I can look at through HTML. And this means that not only can the Forest Service use this information, but people who are outdoor enthusiasts might also be interested in seeing this data. And as they visit our forest, they can determine where certain types of trees are planted. Now, this design is also responsive, and that's really important to me as a scientist because the main way that I'm going to be interacting with this data is not in the office, but I'm actually going to be out in the field with a mobile connected tablet. And so it's really important that I can determine where I want to go. There might be specific tree species that I want to look at. And so I can pick a particular tree species, and that will actually update the geomap, and it'll let me know where I can actually find those particular species. So certain species of trees are susceptible to certain insect pests. So other trees are susceptible to different biological diseases. And so, as a scientist, being able to very quickly know where a particular species of tree is, so I can go monitor their growth progress, and also look for pests or for diseases. That's really, really important. Okay, so this is another example where knowing the location of something as simple as a tree really informs my decision making and what I'm going to do day to day as a research scientist. It's also helpful to be able to make this information available to the general public. And one of the things we should note about our HTML export is it liberates your dashboard not only from the Business Objects platform, it also liberates it from your underlying data source. So the data, everything that's needed to render this dashboard is exported as part of the HTML. And so what that means is there's a very lightweight and responsive experience. And especially in the case of when I want to interact with the general public, I don't need to worry that the general public needs some kind of access to my Business Objects platform that might be behind a firewall, for example. I don't want the general public to be required to be set up as Business Objects users. So it's really freeing that the dashboard, once exported, can stand on its own 2 feet, so to speak, and be on an intranet, can be on an extranet like we're showing here. It can also be exported to SharePoint for those of you who are using SharePoint. And finally, there's one more thing that I'd like to show you about using location analytics from N4Viz. And that's that HTML can be exported to PowerPoint. So this is not a static image of my dashboard. This is my dashboard. So all the interactivity, all the data is inside of the, again, the HTML. When that HTML is refreshed, I can reschedule that from the Business Objects platform, and that will push out to my dashboard updated data. So it can even be updated over time. As you can see, regardless of the component, I've got full interactivity, and I can drill down from the geomap. I can also drill down from either the pie chart or the tree breakdown, and filter the geomap in that way as well. So what we've intended to show you today is, one, that our N4Viz components are very easy to use. So they're just like using the built-in charts built into Web Intelligence. You right-click, you turn into, you set some properties, and you're done. And we've also wanted to show that the information can be distributed using HTML that can be responsive, that can go wherever it needs to go, on an intranet, an extranet, SharePoint, your PowerPoint presentation. We've also seen that location analytics can inform a lot of different types of users. So whether we're manufacturing vehicles, underwriting policies, or preserving the environment, there's a lot of use cases where being able to combine the data that you already have in your enterprise data warehouse with location analytics, it really provides an extra dimension of data that can inform decision making. All right, and with that, I hope if you've had questions that that you've been sharing them with us, and so let's go to the see if we have any questions for today. Okay. The question, the custom car bar graphic is nice. Are those predefined shapes, or is it something that we can upload a PNG image and have it operate in a similar fashion? As a national nonprofit, we have a blood collections department and would use a custom image to fill up to show percent to goal. And the question is yes. So we have both a pictorial gauge that can show you like a single KPI. We also have a pictorial chart. And so you can overlay not a PNG, but an SVG, a scalable vector graphics file. And if you haven't created one of your own with Inkscape or some of the other SVG tools, there are a lot of sites on the internet where you can download some standard images in SVG format, and you can use those directly into Need for Viz. So yes, it's a definite possibility. Okay, next question. How can we use the custom graphs in our environment? And so we support you on the integration of your first personalized map, and we can provide you with a detailed operating procedure so that you can use the other charts. And again, our focus today was on our collection of maps and location analytics, but we do have a full suite of over 60 components. So different types of circulars, bar charts, all the things that Michael was showing you at the beginning of the presentation. And these can be easily integrated into your business objects environment with a very simple install. And we have one code line at Need for Viz. And so whether you're still on 4.2, which nobody was today, whether you're on 4.3 or even BI 2025, our solution is already running at SAP as they are doing the final testing on BI 2025. So one product supports all of those versions. And so that means that regardless of the version that you're on today, you can begin using our solution and know that, as Michael said, we update our solution quarterly with new features, also new widgets from time to time. And so that's just going to continue to mean that our suite grows in size and maturity. And a lot of our innovations that we present from quarter to quarter are actually suggestions from our customers. So if there's a feature to an existing chart that you don't see, or if there's a completely new chart that you're interested in developing, we're certainly interested in talking to you and seeing if that's a component that would be of benefit to the rest of our Need for Viz customers, and certainly adding those new components or capabilities to our suite. Okay, is there another question?
Yes, there is.
Fantastic. So thank you, Jerome. Must be a little bit of latency for me. For the export to HTML, is that using the export to HTML already in business objects, or is there a separate process to export the HTML? And so the HTML export uses both. It uses the capabilities within our products, and so we didn't really focus on how that was done today. It is nearly as simple as what we showed you today. There's you right-click on the component and you set up some parameters for the HTML, and then you can when the data needs to be updated, you can schedule the web intelligence document, and that'll automatically update the HTML components. And so if that's something that's of interest to you to see how our HTML export works, we definitely recommend that at the conclusion of the webinar that you reach out to Michael and set up a consultation, and we can talk to you about what your requirements are, and we can also show you how quickly a dashboard can be HTML enabled. Great question. Okay. All right. Regarding routes, especially for itinerary, is the notion of traffic taken into account. And so the route module that we showed you today is Google's. And so we have exposed some of Google's capabilities. There are options that we have not added. We can certainly look into the feasibility of adding those additional Google capabilities to our product. Okay, for exporting to HTML and use offline, does every component need to be from Need4Viz? And so, yes, that's a great question, and the answer is yes. All the components need to be from N4V for WebI. Is only our N4V components are designed to generate the HTML and also have connectivity to the N4V for WebI engine. That said, that's why we also provide a variety of components. So we have tables, we have charts, we have maps, we have a whole folder of navigation elements you can put on for Need4Viz. So we think you'll find that there's a comprehensive set of widgets already in our solution. And again, that solution continues to grow. And that you'll be able to really provide compelling dashboards that, again, they're liberated when you export them from HTML. They're liberated from the Business Objects platform. They're also liberated from the underlying database because everything that's needed to render the HTML is embedded inside the HTML when we export it. So, all right. And again, see a lot of questions with regard to HTML exports. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, we'd love for you to connect with you and to demonstrate to you how easy it is, and also to learn more about what your use case is, how you intend to use the product, and how we can help you extend your existing web intelligence and universe investments into what we like to call Power BO. So with that, I'm going to turn things over back to Michael Trickey to wrap up, and appreciate your time today in spending your day with us.
Well, thank you, Dallas, for that wonderful use case demonstration and for answering those questions. It was wonderful talking with all of you today, and just to kind of wrap up, our goal, of course, was just to show you ways that we can help you in boosting your SAP WebI reports within mapping, but other areas as well. I feel that we've done a good job in showing you how we can make this, reporting process within Business Objects, WebI Intelligent Reporting, more simple, more productive with a simple plugin solution that we offer. For those who have any questions, feel free to email me or contact us via our website. I believe we have on the next page my contact information, but we're also going to be sending you out a survey. Please, if you could just click on it and fill it out. It's very short. It's just kind of giving your thoughts on what we said here today, and we appreciate you in doing so. And with that, for Dallas and myself, Jerome and John Bernard, who's been in the background, we thank you for your time, and we look forward to talking with you more in the future. Have a good day.